Hi, my name is Cyan. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about a much requested topic, much more requested than I thought it would be. So here's what happened. I decided to come up with a poll for you guys to choose what the next video was going to be about. And we had my crazy online dating experiences or why I changed my name. And I thought for certain that the online dating experiences would win out. So I already planned out in my head what I was going to do, I was going to talk about, not including actual names. Don't be getting too excited. And I had it all played out in my head. And then the polls came in from my Facebook, from my Instagram. Oh, good Lord, I'm losing it tonight. And everything came back for the name change. You guys really want to know about the name change. So I will get to that and we'll discuss that. So basically, for some people, they already know that I changed my name, okay? I have a legal name. My legal name is Cyan Lestat, and I wasn't born with that name, though, okay? I changed my name when I was younger. People that I went to school with and people that I am close with now know this, so this is no surprise, which is probably why my dad voted for the online dating experiences. Dad? Y'all, he's a trip, seriously. But no, so I changed my name when I was 19. I had a different name before. No, I am not going to go into what my name was before. I've decided not to do that right now. And some of you already know what the name was prior, and that's fine. I'm not going to say it on this channel though, and all that you need to know really is that my name, for all intents and purposes, is Cyan Lestat. It is a legal name. It wasn't something I just changed to try to be cool or something like that. It is actually legal. I made it legal. So when I was 19, I was going through a phase where I was figuring out who I was as a person. And prior to 19, I feel like I was trying to be someone that my family wanted me to be. And as I'm transitioning out of that phase and into my own, I wanted something to represent that. But not only that, I didn't like my prior name, okay? It was a very plain Jane, I'm from a small town in Kentucky kind of name. And if you're from a small town in Kentucky like I am, nothing wrong with a plain Jane name. If you're comfortable with it, who cares, right? It's not a big deal. For me, I didn't like my name at all. I didn't like variations of my name. I just didn't like it. So I just thought, well, I'm going to have to live with this. But then when I was 19, I had a roommate, and she went into a story. Hi, Catherine. I can't wait to see you again, hopefully soon. She went into a story about her changing her name, and I'm like, oh, you mean like from marriage? And she's like, no, she changed her name just on her own. And I was like, really? And I'm like, what's the process? How do I do this? And that really got me thinking about, do I really want to change my name? I know there's going to be legal ramifications of that. There's going to be people that don't take it seriously. And then as I was deciding a name, I knew that people were going to laugh about it, and there was going to be people that made fun of it or didn't understand it. I don't care though, okay? I'm going to do what I feel like makes sense to me, whether it's mainstream or not, okay? So I'm thinking, okay, I can do this. I can change my name. I can do it legally. It's not that big of a deal, but what name do I change my name to? And originally, you all, I only planned on changing my first name. Okay, so right now, my middle name is the only part of my name that I was actually born with. And so I planned initially just to change my first name because that's what I really didn't like. And as I came up with Cyan, my middle name, and my previous last name didn't sound right together. And I'm a name person. Like, if you don't have a nickname, I'm probably going to give you a nickname at some point that I feel like is fitting. If you have a nickname, I'm probably going to use that versus your real name. It just depends on my mood. but I feel like a name should fit who you are, and I did not feel like my prior name represented who I was anymore. Okay, so so Cyan, I worked in graphic ad design when I was 19, and working with printers. Anybody that has a printer, you know the ink cartridges are CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, black, and cyan was a shade of blue. It's a bluish greenish color, right? Well, blue is one of my favorite colors, so I thought, well, that would be kind of a neat name. It sounds like Ryan, but kind of feminine. And it has Anne on it, so it kind of sounded like a name already. And I thought, well, that would work. I like it, and it's one of my favorite colors. So Cyan, middle name, previous last name, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound right together though. So I'm like, okay, um, how do I change my last name? What would I change it to? And I was thinking about it, and at that time I was really into the French culture. I had taken French in high school. I really enjoyed the language and just the beauty of the countryside of France. And I was very much more into France at that point in time. So I wanted to go with something that would stand out, that was French. Well, the first French name I could think of was from a movie I had seen when I was younger, which of course most everybody knows, Interview with a Vampire, and the last name Lestat, um, and which is from a Anne Rice novel. Okay, so I was like, okay, Cyan, middle name Lestat. Wow, that's a pretty cool name. I've got the favorite color. I've got my favorite culture thing going on here. I like it. It stands out. It's going to stand out on a resume, and that was one of the other key factors of me changing my name. I wanted something that was memorable on a resume. Okay, my prior name, very much forgettable. If you're going through a stack of resumes and you saw my prior name, okay, yeah, she's got some qualifications, that's great, and she's got some skills, that's great. When you see Cyan Lestat, it's going to click more. You're going to remember that name more, and the skills associated with that person more because it stands out. So at 19, I made a business decision as well as a personal decision when I changed my name. So I came up with Cyan for the blue and Lestat for the French culture. I did not change it to Lestat because I was into vampires or something weird like that. I know there was rumors that went around. That's what happens when you live in a small town. You know, I was going to be the black sheep anyway because I changed my name. I'm weird. Oh my God. But yeah, so I changed my name. And I decided the name, and then it was like, okay, what do I do next? So next thing was just going to the courthouse. I had my name in mind. I went to the courthouse. They gave me paperwork. I filled out the paperwork accordingly, and then I brought it back in on a day that the judge was there that could sign it. And you just stood outside the judge's chambers in his office, and I was in a line of people, and they were all going through for different things that he needed his signature, and I was my turn. I went in. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm changing my name." He said, "Great." He scribbled his name and said, "Don't forget to tell Social Security," and slid it across the table, and I was done. And then I paid $25 and I think 25 cents, something like that. And that's all I had to pay. And they filed it there in the courthouse, and it was stamped with a seal, so it is official. I legally had my name changed. It is on all my documentation, and I actually, several years ago, I had to end up actually having my birth certificate changed with Cyan Lestat, which I thought was odd because I wasn't born that way, and to me the record would be invalid. But whatever. They said it had to be done, so I did it. So yeah, you can go to the courthouse. I don't know if it's still $25.25. It was when I was 19, and you just fill out paperwork. You have a judge sign it. You let Social Security know, and you get a new Social Security card, same number, different name. And then you just have a lot of explaining to do for the next several years. I still today it comes up. It's funny on things that'll come up, and it'll be like, oh, you need to show this or that, and I'm like, oh, let me grab the papers out of the safe because that's what I do. I'm sitting on a pillow. I'm trying to get comfortable, you guys. So yeah, that's the story of the name change. I did not like my prior name. I was going through a transition where I felt like I was not that person anymore, and I'm still not. And I was figuring out who I really was, and becoming comfortable with that. And I wanted something to reflect that. I didn't like my name, and it was a business decision. So those are the three main reasons why I changed my name. Do I regret it? No, absolutely not. I have had many wonderful job opportunities, and I like to say that some of that comes from the fact that my name does stand out on a resume. And you know, it's hard to say that for sure because it's not like I have my old resume with my old name on it to compare it. But I think that does have a lot to do with it because I've had some great opportunities throughout life, um, and I'm very blessed in that way. I love the name. I think it represents who I am. I'm a bit different, um, and I just kind of go with the flow and do my own thing. So that is my story. If you guys have any questions about that, let me know below, and I will try to answer those as soon as possible. Um, if you like the name change, if you like Cyan Lestat, let me know that too. Give me a thumbs up on the video. Also, if you're not already, go ahead and subscribe and click the little bell for notification. It'll let you know every time I upload a new video, which is great because you don't want to miss these shenanigans. You all have a good night.